is, I'm gonna go back to my document cam here. A while back ago, I told y'all to download Skype for Business under, is it Office 365?
Yes.
Okay, I told you to download Office 365, and within it, I told you that you would get Skype for Business. I'm telling this to all my classes because we're having to switch, and I brought this up to the college when I sent y'all the email about Teams. It's called Microsoft Teams, which is an upgrade of Skype for Business. Okay? It's made by Microsoft. Both of them are made by Microsoft. And I'm telling all my classes this first week. I didn't tell you Monday because it didn't come up until I tried something and it didn't work, and that's when I called IT. So when you download Office 365 on your computer at the beginning of the semester, you were able to download Skype for Business. Now you can't. Okay? Now you can't. But you can download it on your phone or your Mac. Okay? The reason is Microsoft is not a Mac company, so they focus on non-Mac computers, so they're trying to get everybody to go to Microsoft Teams. Everybody with me? Now, if you downloaded Microsoft lately, you might already have Teams. But the problem is, y'all ready for this? Tri-County Technical College, I don't think, now this is my opinion, I don't think they downloaded your credentials for logging on. So right now, you can download the Teams, but you can't log on. No, big surprise. Now, let me show you what it looks like. That's what it looks like. Doesn't look any different. I can call up Mr. Hill right now. Hill. And is it Clayton or is it, I got C in my mind. What is it? What's your first name, Mr. Hill?
Gavin.
Gavin. Put a G in there. And see, there's it. Is it G Hill 2 at TCTC?
Yes, sir.
Okay, there is his, and it wasn't green because he hasn't downloaded it and logged on. Well, students can't downlog on it, right? But see, this is not a student. This is a faculty member. So faculty and staff, we can log on. Faculty and staff can log on to MS Teams, but students can't. I wrote a big email this morning to IT telling them they need to fix this. And they said they're working on it. So what I'm trying to tell you is you need to look into Teams, try to download it from Office 365. You may just have to do another install. Or go down to your Start key. Let me show you how to do this. Watch your screen. I'm going to minimize this.
Hey, Hubert.
Yes.
Again, I apologize, but I'm going to have to watch the recording today. Something just came up.
Okay, that's fine. Just head on out.
I apologize.
That's okay. Go down to the Start key of your Windows. Mine is different on my laptop here. Mine is this one. Well, for some reason I can't there. Mine is this one where the home key is. And type in Teams. And as soon as it comes up, I'm going to type it in. There. Well, why did it do that? There we go. And type in Teams. T-A-M-S. And it didn't. Okay, why didn't it pull it up? There it is. And Microsoft Teams, there it is. And you can drag that over or right click and you can drag that over uh, to your desktop. Now, luckily, I told y'all to download Skype for Business before they stopped letting you download it. So you're covered for right now. But anybody having to download Skype for Business, it may not download to your IBM computer. It will download to your Mac or your iPhone or your Android. But I don't think it's going to download. It's going to download Microsoft Teams to your IBM. So I'm just telling you that so you'll know in the future. And Tri-County Tech said that they are working on it, trying to get that done. All right, now, let me get out of that. And we are going to go over, last time I went over 13 numbers. Today I'm going to go over 12. Okay, so I'm going to do 70, 75, 75, 78, 79, 80, 81, 82, 85, and 88. How many is that? That's one. I think it's 10, isn't it? That's 10. Let me go down a little bit on the size. Hold on a second. There we go. 90 and what? 95. That should be 12. Now, Monday, I went over n is equal to 13. In fact, let me put in 2 steps here. Insert. Monday, I went over n is equal to 13. Today, I'm going over n is equal to 12. So you'll have an odd and an even. X. And I need to make sure everything is the same size and everything is centered. There. Okay, and of course over here on the far right, I'm going to extend this a little bit. And I'm going to put mean, median, mode, range, mid-range. Got to respell that. Mid-range, variance, and standard deviation. Now Monday, I went over variance and standard deviation. So Mr. Yap and others, you need to make sure you go over Monday's video, which I'm going to go over it again today. And I'm going to write the formula out. Let me go ahead and write that formula out for you right quick in case you didn't get it. The formula for the variance is equal to the summation of x minus x bar quantity squared over n minus 1. And the square root of the variance is equal to the standard deviation. So make sure you write those two formulas down so you can read it whenever you want to do your spreadsheet like I'm going to do today. Now, the reason I show this spreadsheet is because it shows you how to do it by hand, and it shows you how to use technology. I also do it because it keeps everything on one board so everybody can see it. If I was to write on this thing, I would be all over the place, and I'd be all over here, and I still wouldn't have the answer, and then I'd have to go to the next page. So that's why I use the spreadsheet. Okay, so the mean. How do we find the mean? Well, we add everything up and divide by n. So I'm going to add all these up and divide by 12. And that is our mean. Now, I carry everything to 3 or 4 digits. And the reason I do that is because usually the book, the homework, the test, 22.4762. The homework and the test, they pretty much go to either the 10th or the 100th. So that's why I carry everything to 4 digits. So that way I have an extra couple of digits. So that's a good rule to follow when you're dealing with statistics. Carry everything to 4 digits because they're usually going to ask either to the 10th or to the 100th. And you only round at the very end of the problem. So if I was doing all this and they said, what is the mean? After I did my calculations, then I would say, okay, the mean is 75.7. You always round when you type in your answer. That way you read the directions on where to round. Don't round in the middle of a calculation. All right, so let me make this. I have a little bit of OCD, I'm sorry. So, median. The median is the middle number. Well, the middle number, when I'm going to color this a little bit red, because, not the text, Hubert. There, we'll color it yellow. No, not yellow. I don't want yellow. I use yellow for something else. That wine color means caution. 12 is an even number. So if n is equal to 2, 4, 6, 8, 10, 12, 14, 16, 18, 20, you have to do this for the median. You have to pick the 2 middle numbers. 1, 2, 3, 4. 1, 2, 3, 4. So I need to pick these 2 middle numbers. 1, 2, 3, 4, 5. Wait a minute. 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6, 7, 8, 9, 10, 11. Sorry, 96. There we go. My bad. Let me check the mean and make sure I've got the. I thought I had 12 numbers. Somebody should have said something. Oh yeah, I thought that, but I didn't say nothing. Y'all suck. Divided by 12. There. All right. So now I'm going to find the middle 2 numbers. How do you find that? Well, you go 1, 2, 3, 4, 5. These are your middle 2 numbers. I'm going to highlight them yellow. That's what I use yellow for. And that is your middle 2 numbers. So how do you do the middle 2 numbers? You take the average of the middle 2 numbers. So you equals, parentheses, you take the first number, you add it to the second number, and you divide by 2. The same thing you do with your mid-range. You take the 2 numbers and add them up and divide by 2. So that is your mean. Mode, what shows up the most? I think 75 showed up the most. Remember, your mode is not calculated. It's observed. Range, that's equal to your highest number minus your what? Your lowest number. And it didn't do it. What's wrong? Okay, for some reason, equals the highest number minus the lowest number. There. Oh, I did the range right. Okay, I'm sorry. The mid-range is equal to, just like you average these, the highest number plus the lowest number divided by 2. I'm just going to leave that there. You take the highest number plus the lowest number, which is your min and max, You add those two together and divide by 2. Now, before I move on, I'm going to highlight these 3 numbers. A light, I want fluorescent. Let me see if I got fluorescent green. No, not really. I want green. I can't get green. I want it to turn green. Well, that's not worth anything. Let me just use the green they have. That's green. I'm going to color this green. And I'm going to color this green. Now, write in your notes, these 3 numbers should be close to each other. If they're not close to each other, then you've got some funky data. Write it down. If those numbers are not close to each other, you've got some funky data. Let's change this to a 30. And you see the numbers go crazy. What number was that? I'll just do undo. When you see a number that's crazy, it's going to throw your mean, median, and your mid-range way off. We'll hit undo. There we go. So 83, 82, and 85 or 86 is close together. So look at those 3 numbers and they will tell you if you have something crazy in your list of numbers. Let's say that there's 108 right here. Again, the numbers go crazy. Those 3 numbers are not close anymore. But you put the number that was in there
Priority 1
back,
message coming in on secured channel.
And you get a number that's close to these 2 numbers. I'm looking to see if that's somebody Skyping in. Nope. Okay, so now we got to get to variance. So I'm going to pull up the handy dandy. I might make it small, but I'm making it, well, it may not stay. As soon as I click on, no, it's not going to stay. So there's the formula for the variance. I want you to look at it, and I want you to write it down, and I want you to read it. Okay, let's start with the green. Let's start with the orange. This right here is orange. And that says x minus x bar. So what does that mean? X bar is the mean, right? So that means I got to subtract the mean from every one of my x's. So I'm going to do this in orange. I'm going to highlight this whole area. I'm going to highlight it an orange color, a real light orange. And I'm going to put at the top x minus x bar. And it's going to be equals this number minus this number. And for some reason, I'm going to put a $sign here and a $sign here. You don't have to do that, but I'm doing it because I want to lock it. Man, it's not taking. Dang it. There, it should. Let's see if that works. Nope. Dang it. All right, I'm going to have to type it in. Hold on a second. I don't know how to use my own computer at home. 83.667. And we'll copy that down. All right, make sure you follow along with me, Mr. Oh, Lord, I've neglected to say Mr. Yap. Are you still there?
Yes, sir.
Okay. Well, speak up if you got a question, okay? All right.
Okay, sir.
So that's my x minus x bar, and I did that in orange. Okay, the reason I did that in orange was because I highlighted that in orange. Okay, now what do I do with that orange after I subtract it? What do I do? I raise it to the what? I take that blue marker and I raise it to the second power. Now I'm going to highlight this one, that aqua color that I just wrote in. There it is. And I'm going to color that. I'm going to call that x minus x bar to the second power. So I'm going to take that previous column, that orange column, and I'm going to raise it to the second power with my calculator. And you should get those numbers. So now let's go back to the formula. And what am I going to do with x minus x bar quantity squared? What does that funky E mean?
The sum?
Now I'm going to add them all up. That purple E. That means I'm going to add all those up. I'm going to color this purple. If I can find a purple. Why isn't this thing showing purple? I guess that's purple. There it is. Okay, purple, I'm going to add all those numbers up. And that is my numerator for my variance. 416, let me write that down. So my variable, my variance is equal to 416.5638. I just wrote that. Variance is equal to, I just found that purple number. That purple number is the numerator. And that's over, what's 12 minus 1? It's 11. So that's going to be 416.5638 over 11. And I'm going to do that in the calculator here. Not the calculator, but right here, equals this number divided by 11. There's my variance. My variance is equal to 37.8694. 37.8694. That's my variance. And just showing you here. So my variance is equal to 37.8694. Now to find the standard deviation, I just take the square root of the variance. So that's going to give me S is equal to the square root of 37.8694. And take my, so equals, oh gosh, what is that? L8 raised to the 0.5 power. And the square root of 37.8694 is 6.15381. 6.15381. So that is our standard deviation, and that is our variance. Now, what is standard deviation? Well, I'm going to show you. Standard deviation And you're not going to see any book tell you this because it's not sophisticated enough. But the standard deviation is a 25-cent word for the spread. Now, I don't mean spread in a gambling term. I mean spread in a physical term. Okay? A large standard deviation is not good. Okay? A small standard deviation is good. Okay? A large standard deviation means that you have a curve that's going to be spread out. Because the spread is larger. A small standard deviation means you're going to have a compressed curve because the spread is not as large. When you have a spread that's large, that means you've got a long area. The range and the standard deviation are going to be related because the further, the higher your range is, the higher your standard deviation is going to be. Okay? So you could actually, I'll show you, I'll give you an example. You could actually see this, see your range. I'm going to color the range. I'm going to color the range and I'll color it some weird color. Let's color it with this blue background. I got to use different. I don't know where these colors are coming from. Doesn't look right. Hold on, I'm just going to use color. Let me use that burnt orange. There. The range and the standard deviation. Now watch what happens when I change this number, the minimum, I change that to 20. I change the bottom number here to 105. What happened to the standard deviation? It went up high. And what happened to the range? It increased also. And of course, your range, your mean and median and mid-range, it got all out of cattywampus. But when your standard deviation, when your range increases, so does your standard deviation. And hopefully you'll see that when you see your numbers. And this is basically just analyzing numbers. That's what this is. Now, I covered the 5-number summary Monday, but that was with 13 numbers. Now I'm going to do the 5-number summary with just 12. It's different, a little bit different. So 5-number summary consists of the men, the first quartile. Well, I can't. Men equals there. The second quartile. The third quartile. And the max. Now I talked about this Monday, but I'll talk about it again because it's worth going over again. When you draw the curve, you kind of need to read it like a fuel gauge. This is empty. This is about a what? Quarter of a tank. This is half full. This is 3/4 of a tank. And this is what? Full. So this is your first quartile. This is your second quartile. And this is your third quartile. That's how it's pronounced. Your first quartile, your second quartile, or your third quartile. Or you can say, I'll use a different color, this is the 25th percentile. This is your 50th percentile. And this would be your 75th percentile. They mean the same thing, only some people call it different names. You may walk into one class and they refer to everything as quartiles. You may walk into another class and they may say everything in terms of percentiles. It really doesn't matter. They are the same thing. But how do you find them? Well, that's what we're fixing to do with the 5-number summary. The 25th, 50th, and 75th is 3 out of 5 number summary. The min and the max is the other two. So you've got the min and the max. All you got to find is the 25th, the 50th, and the 75th. And I'll tell you this, you've already got the 50th because the 50th is the median. So all you got to find is the 25th and 75th percentile. And it's real easy. Let's go back to the spreadsheet. All right, so the min is equal to the lowest number. The max is equal to the highest number. So I'm done highlighting stuff because it's so I've used so many colors. I don't want to start redoing colors. So I'll just do this. I can do this. I can change this to a bold, and I can change it to a red color. There we go. Change this to bold and a red color. There we go. And we're going to change this one to a verde. Can't hardly see it, but you'll see it whenever I bold it. There we go, and that one is there and bold. Okay, so your median is right there, so I'll color that highlight, and that's equal to that number. So now, all we're ready to do now is we're ready to find the first quartile and the third quartile. Well, you go over here and you plot that 81.5. Now, I can't plot it because I don't have a way to write on my screen. So, I take that 81.5 and I put my cursor right there at 81.5. Now, count how many numbers are above that cross, that cursor. There's 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6. Is 6 even or odd? It's even. So I've got to pick those two numbers. And I'm going to highlight those two numbers. And we'll color them. I'm running out of colors. We'll color them red. I don't like to use red. And that's going to be this one right here. Now since there's two numbers, I got to take the average. So equals, parentheses, 79 plus 78 divided by 2. And that is my first quartile. Now go down below the cursor. Here's my cursor at 81.5. I've got 6 below. So I take these two and take the average of those two. And I got to color that a different color. And I'm going to go with this burnt orange. And that's going to be equal to this number plus this number divided by 2. Oh, I messed it up. Didn't put a parenthesis right here. And there is your 5-number summary. So 79 is your min. Quarter of a tank is 79. Half a tank is 82. 3/4 of a tank is 89. And full is 96. And that's your 5-number summary. I'm going to change that to a different color. I'm going to just change it to black. You can't hardly see that. Ooh, not that. There. I'll just make it bold black. There we go. So on your test for 12.3 and 12.4, I'm pretty sure, because 12.1 and 12.2 is a lot of reading. This is what you should be able to do for 12.3 and 12.4. And you can either do it in your calculator. I'm going to show you how to do that Friday. I'm going to show you how to do it in your calculator with the Excel spreadsheet, because I've got a calculator right here. There it is. I got this off of TI yesterday. I emailed them and they emailed me back with a link, and I was able to get this for free for 6 months. So, and the way you use this is stat. I'll show you right quick, and this is for the people that are watching this video that knows somewhat what to do with the calculator. Hit stat right here, right there. Stat and edit. Hit enter for edit. And this is where you type in your numbers. So I'm just going to type in 6 numbers, or 7. 70, 71. Oh, shoot. Hold on a minute. I'm not supposed to use my keyboard. Don't use your keyboard on a calculator. You got to use the calculator keyboard. Sorry. 71. Enter. 72. Enter. 75, enter. 76, enter. And 80. I think that's 6, isn't it? 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6. Okay, now go to stat, calculate, move over 1, and hit first variable statistic, enter. And go down to calculate. Your X bar is 74. Your SX is 3.74. SX is your standard deviation. Write that down. SX is your sample standard deviation. And there is the 5-number summary. 70, 71, 73.5, 76, and 80. So I just showed you how to use your calculator. Now we're going to use it Friday again, but I wanted to show you how to use it so you can be playing with it. Stat, edit, and stat, calculate. First variable statistic. Okay? Okay, Mr. Yap, do you have any questions about what we did today?
No, sir.
Okay, now this should be kind of old school for everybody, not the calculator, but the actual doing the mean, median, mode, range, mid-range. The variance and the standard deviation, some of you may be rusty with, and the 5-number summary, some of you may be rusty with, but we're going to go over it again Friday. And then the next week, I'm going to go over the probability part. And then, except for y'all's autopilot, which is Unit 3, y'all should be done. All y'all got to do is a final after that. So I'm going to shut her down here, and I'm going to hit stop recording. And if